Hey, what's up, guys? I am Joe from Workbench, and today we're going to talk about aliens. No, I'm just kidding. We're just going to talk about scaling some strokes. So specifically what we're talking about is scaling the endpoints of a stroke that's been trimmed. We don't want the ends of the strokes to just pop on. It becomes more apparent the larger the stroke is and the slower the move. I've slowed this one down and scaled it up to kind of exaggerate it, although even then this one isn't terrible, but sometimes it's really apparent. So I made a quick expression to fix that. Let's turn this layer off and that one on. All right, so let's look at that real quick. I'm going to click on here, hit UU to open this up, and let's look at the expression I have applied to stroke width. So this first line is just ramp equals 2, and ramp is basically a threshold. So if our stroke is trimmed smaller than 2%, we'll be scaling. The next two lines are just pick whipped from the trim paths, start and end, and they're just assigned to variables start and end. And then the fourth line is diff equals math.abs of start minus end. So here we're subtracting the ends of the trims from each other, and that'll give us the actual length of the line. So if we have 0 and 100, our line is 100% long. If we have 99 and 100, we have a 1% long line. This math.abs is just to make sure that we get the absolute value, which basically just throws the negative sign off of stuff. So if we subtract 100 from 0, we don't get negative 100, we just get 100. And I named this diff because it's the difference between the start and the end parameters. Another good name for that would be length, and actually I'm going to change that to it. Let's call that length. That's better. So then our final line is if length is less than ramp. So if our length is less than the threshold, so if we're less than 2% in this case, then we're going to ease the length as it goes from 0 to the ramp. So from 0 to 2. Then our stroke width is going to go from 0 to the length divided by ramp times value. So the value is what you actually set the stroke width to. We're doing length divided by ramp so that we can get a value from 0 to 1. Because if this is running, our length can't be any bigger than 2, and 2 over 2 is 1. So this value will be from 0 to 1. So we multiply it by the value. That'll scale our value from 0 to 100%. And then if the length is greater than ramp, we're just going to use value. And that's it. You can change this ramp to make it like 10 if you want it to take a while. Or you can make it quick like 1. So it just does it for the first percent. It all depends on how you want it to look. So if you want, you can save this expression to use with something like Quiver. Or you can go to the Xbox One XXXXXXX version over here, and you can click on body. And we can look over here, and I've made some sliders. And I've just simply replaced in here value with SW for stroke width. Then the ramp is the same. And then pretty much everything else is the same in here, except for instead of multiplying down here by value, we're multiplying it by the stroke width that I have up here. And else it's the stroke width that I have over here. I mostly put that in here because if this thing is scaling, this number will change and you won't really know what the stroke width is. Because even if you look up here, it's still different. If we step through, that'll change. So you can always look over here and see what the maximum width is. And if you're subscribed to get presets from me on Patreon, this is already in there for you. If you already downloaded it, you might want to grab it again because there's a problem in here that I need to fix. This range is wrong. This needs to go to ramp instead of 1. And I'm going to fix this length thing too, because that's just a better name for it. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. If you have any comments or questions, leave them in the comments down below. And if you feel like helping to support what we do and maybe getting some of our presets that aren't public, check out patreon.com/workbench. Make sure you keep up with the blog at workbench.tv. And as always, I am Joe, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.